Some days you're catching them like nothing, and then some days it's like, it's a slow day. There's something over there. You might catch one or two, or you might get just bites, and I got him, and he spit it out. That's part of the game. Man, these fish are smart. Right now, me fishing, I like fishing. It's just something that, since I can't really do anything else like other mobile body people can do, this is, just get to sit and relax, hang out, and enjoy. If you don't catch fish, oh well. I was diagnosed at 5. It's called Duchenne's. It's the worst kind. For people like me, it pretty much affects the heart and pretty much every muscle in my body, basically. I'm gonna get that big fish.
I believe you with your determination.
I'm very determined.
I know.
I'm just excited about helping people do what they love. Willie enjoys fishing, and just being able to provide him opportunities within recreation is important to me.
There you go.
About time.
That's a nice looking guy.
Better get a little kiss from that guy.
You know what?
Definitely probably going to be one of the best experiences that I'll have with a customer relationship.
All right, let's do this again.
Because really was just overall really genuine goal, and
I think the fish are camera shy.
he cracked out a few jokes immediately, and it was just overall really calming vibe, and it was definitely fun being able to help him fish.
It becomes a lot more personal when you get to meet that person.
I'm gonna get him.
I know.
I'm gonna get that little sucker.
You meet him and he talks about how badly he wants to fish and how much he enjoys fishing.
We got the method now.
Yeah.
We got to use maggots.
It kind of puts a lot more importance on why you're doing what you're doing once you know who you're making it for. And like I said, Willie's a character. It's so fun to meet him. So I really wanted to help him out in any way we could. So I'm glad we were able to kind of go from start to finish, and he's able to fish now.
Since I got this, I can do anything.
The University of Akron has been a great partner. We've stuck with them for 8 years because they're making technology that really impacts individuals with different abilities.
That's really awesome that Akron is giving these experiences to people and being able to help them in such a unique manner that is just
Oh, could you grab those?
crazy betterment of life aspect, in my opinion. It's definitely awesome. And I'm really glad that Akron gives this opportunity to people and that this club exists.
17.
They had the talent. They brainstormed a lot. They kind of picked my brain a little bit, and we kind of figured out how we did it, and we made it happen.
It has been a learning process. Anytime you create something new, innovation, you have to have grit and you have to stick with it.
At first, it was kind of a learning curve when I first tried it. But after, I think, one day of using it, there we go, I kind of got a hang of it. It's pretty simple. You blow into it to make it move and blow to stop. So it's very easy to, and I learned pretty quick too. So
The most important thing as engineers is that we don't really do anything if there's no problems to solve, and these people have problems. So if a specific person, like Willie, has an issue that he's trying to solve, and that we can provide that solution and then see it go from kind of his needs to what we make in the end, and have it be usable and solving that issue, it's more valuable than any project that we could get assigned in class.
Got him?
yeah, got him.
He definitely puts a smile on my face. Being able to see him enjoy what he loves, words just can't express that.
I like the fish that fight. Like me, I'm a fighter, so.
This project has been overall a blast. I loved it.
The students from the University of Akron, they don't just make an engineered solution, they make a friend.
if you look over there, there's our swans, there's the pond, and that's all because people cared about this place and wanted to turn it back from sort of a grassy invasive species. So just look at that. Couldn't be prettier. And the whole thing is ringed with plants that help my bees, so that makes me happy. I've been here at the University of Akron for 28 years, and I've been studying bees since I was 8 years old. I'm really interested in plants and pollinators and how they affect one another. So my research is involved. Sometimes I study what the plants are doing and how much pollen gets delivered by bees and when. And also looks at how the bees' behavior changes, because what the bees do determines which plants will be the fathers of the seeds and which plants are successful at making seeds. Almost any kind of animal you think of can sometimes be a pollinator. Lizards and snails and marine crustaceans can act as pollinators at times. But right now, nobody's here. That's the way it goes. Oh, there's one, but she moved on. But the real heroes are the bees. There's over 2,000, at least 2,000 species overall in the U.S. And in Ohio, we don't know yet, but we think there's about 400 different types of bees. Some of them are the size of the letter A on a page, and some of them are the size of my thumb, and everything in between. Some of them have brilliant colors, some are almost invisible, so well camouflaged. Where did they go? Oh, there's a bee. So many of the really tasty, fun fruits we have, blueberries, blackberries, watermelons, they all depend on pollinators. If it wasn't for pollinators, we'd have to go out and move the pollen around ourselves. And we can instead have little wild animals that do it for us for free and give us honey as a side effect. Hello. Isn't she sweet? Look at all the pollen on her face. Yeah, and the pollen in her baskets. You can tell the species by looking in part about how much yellow's on the abdomen. Mm-hmm. This is our most common species. Yeah, but look at her there. The way that students learn is to get involved with research, because once you're in college, it's not about learning what other people found out, it's learning about how you could answer new questions yourself. And so I try to do that as a professor, and I try to help my students to move into that realm of knowledge creation instead of knowledge assimilation.
I like reading. I like learning a lot from books and from classes, and I think that there's a huge amount of information there to absorb and pick up. But I feel like there's a lot of value in going outside and just being involved in field work or like a research project, because everything you learn in like formal study it's very helpful, but when you get out in the field, it becomes more real to you in a way. And you start making the connections of like, oh my gosh, like this is how this works, this is how this works. And sometimes you discover things that maybe haven't been written about yet, or that are a little more observational. It's that hands-on connection that really makes a difference. And without the field station, we wouldn't be able to do that. And so it's really a vital resource and pretty unique. It's only 20 minutes from campus, and we can get students out here really exploring nature firsthand. I really like coming and seeing everything. And it's a lot of good land for like doing field work and research and seeing what exists naturally in northeastern Ohio.
This has a lot of, what are those? One of the ways that they see whether your papers are having an impact is they see how many other people make reference to the findings you've had in your papers. And so when they totted that up, a lot of the papers I'm on, and a lot of times with collaborators, have been cited by other people. And so according to this study by folks at Stanford, within the area of ecology and evolution, I'm in the top 2%, which it might get you a cup of coffee sometime. I'm not going to go be famous for it, but it makes me feel good. The things I'm doing are not just only for curiosity, although they really are about curiosity. They're things that are helping other people to understand more about the world we live in. When I think of how I'd like to spend my day, walking around in the field and picking up bumblebees and figuring out whether it's a new one and which plant is that, and are the bees moving, are they only visiting this plant or only visiting that one, or are they moving between them, and what's the consequence? That's how I spend my vacations. My family gets a little bored with me on vacation because that's all I want to do. It's what I love.
It's pretty surreal. You have to stay humble. going in and putting your badge at the gate every day and driving past the signs, it's good. And there's a good mission trying to educate and bring science and bring that into future generations as well.
NASA's mission is very important in the way that the lesson that we've learned from the last half century of space exploration is that the more we leave home, the more we learn about our own planet, where it came from, where we're at this particular point in time, and most importantly, where we're going in the future. NASA's largest mission right now is Artemis, which is our return to the moon. Artemis, the sister of Apollo. And when we went to Apollo, we got some fantastic imagery. It did extend the reach of our space program to everyone, not just Americans.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And that was broadcast live, that grainy footage, But a lot's changed since then, and now we have YouTube, and we have 4K HD video, and we have a culture that needs things now, right? And so when we return to the moon, it's paramount that we're able to still, in the same way that we did with Apollo, share that experience.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're trying to create space internet by bringing interconnectivity to satellites in space. So as opposed to point-to-point links, satellites are able to communicate to each other and to the ground, so we're able to route data faster and more efficiently. The fundamental reason is that we're leaving most of our data in space right now. So your satellite's taking pictures all the time, and a lot of those pictures get lost in memory. You don't have a lot of storage on board to store those pictures, and so we can't offboard them down to Earth fast enough. So we need higher throughput to be able to preserve our science data.
The work that Kyle is doing in the laboratory right now will be launched in December to the International Space Station, and we'll be able to try it out on their communication systems. So it'll be a test bed of sorts, but at an orbital scale. So again, he's in the critical path of the project and contributing heavily to that. So we couldn't do it without him, in fact. Getting a new intern class in every year is a great shot of adrenaline here at NASA. Just from a cultural perspective, because our problems are very large and they linger for a long time. And so getting fresh eyes on a problem that we've been struggling with for a while is instrumental in the perspective and making sure that we're looking at it from all angles. And I think that translates to the classroom, as well, where I can bring some of the material that we're working with here in the laboratory and put it out in front of a class and see what they think about it. At least show them what we've thought about it in the past, and it's a good way to incubate some new ideas and new solutions on things.
Here in particular, they're really open to what the interns are interested in. So if you have a particular interest and you want to pursue this field of research, maybe that goes up with your graduate school research or something like that, you're able to do that. I was sort of guided into HGTN, hey, we need this feature. I'm happy to say that I'm actively working, contributing. I'm not a gopher going and getting things,
Hal's been fantastic in his internship here, and I attribute a lot of that to obviously himself and the work that he's put in becoming the engineer that he is, and really taking advantage of the opportunities that he's had at Akron, particularly the co-op program, the real-world experience, which is more than just the technical, how to work on a team and interact with people and formulate the right path and then implement it in the end. I think of him more as a colleague than an intern in that way.
It's actually pretty crazy how many professors at Akron are involved with NASA in general. Off the top of my head, there's probably 5 professors that I know that are either adjunct professors or they're full-time professors, and they do all the research with NASA. So that's pretty significant within one department of engineering. I was quite surprised to learn, oh, he works for NASA, oh, he's got a research project at NASA, maybe you can go work in his lab. So I was quite surprised by all that. That's awesome.
It is the science and the engineering and all of that, but it's also the inspiration and having a culture here that champions the pursuit of truth and science, and it gives us a culture worth living for.